Before we dive in, here's another show you can enjoy in the True Story FM family of entertainment podcasts.
Ever wondered what happens when a Zoomer who grew up on the Clone Wars,
a millennial Anakin defender,
and a grumpy old Gen Xer walk into a cantina to talk Star Wars?
then we've got the podcast for you.
Star Wars Generations is a place for fans of all backgrounds to come together, talk about why we love the franchise, and what we can learn from each other.
With so much new Star Wars content coming out, we take a deep dive into all of it. We talk stories and characters, what we learn about the Force and the Empire, Republics old and new, and how each story adds to the larger picture.
Besides episode-by-episode coverage of the new shows, we've been going back to watch the movies in release order. We talk about Star Wars novels and video games, along with fan content and cosplay.
And with each episode, we're just starting the conversation, and we hope you jump in. We'll read your feedback, answer your questions. We've even had full episodes dedicated to questions raised by listeners like you.
You can find us under Star Wars Generations on your favorite podcast app, or by going to theethicalpanda.com. May the Force be with you.
Now this is podcasting.
Hey there, true believers. Andy Nelson here from the Marvel Movie Minute podcast with the rest of the team.
Pete Wright, Kyle Olson, Rob Cabasco,
And Matthew Fox.
This is the podcast where we dissect the Marvel Cinematic Universe 1 minute at a time, exploring every detail of this epic superhero franchise.
In our season looking at Iron Man 3, we're going to mix things up a bit.
That's right, Rob and I are your guides, but instead of our usual minute-by-minute format, we dive into 5 minutes of the film in each weekly episode.
It's a totally new approach, but one that still allows us to explore all the depth and detail that makes these movies so special, even if Iron Man 3 isn't all that special.
Hold on, that's where you're wrong. Extremist, Shane Black.
Yeah, would you like to look at the Mandarin and Maya Hansen? Mm-hmm.
So whether you're a die-hard Marvel fan or just love deep dives into movies, there's something for everyone on Marvel Movie Minute.
Suit up and join us on this epic audio adventure. You can find us at truestory.fm or by searching Marvel Movie Minute on your favorite podcatcher.
Because in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, every minute is packed with excitement.
Enough said.
Coming up on The Devil's Details, Phorkyas damn near killed her. Goethe's Faust, Part 2, Act 3. Good morning, Star, and welcome to another episode of The Devil's Details, a show where we dig up, decipher, dissect, and deconstruct the many forms of the devil. One of my names is Phorkyas.
And I sometimes go by Euphorion.
Oh, Euphorion, my wayward son. And we're just two lost souls hitchhiking down the highway to hell. Last time, folks, you'll remember we had ourselves a classic Walpurgis Nacht, as in not Walpurgis Nacht, because there was no Saint Walpurga or anything like that, and it was in ancient Greece.
Greece is the word.
Yes, have you heard? Everybody's heard. But it featured heavily our little homunculus friend, even though he's not very heavy, and it ended with him becoming one with the sea. In a not very satisfying way. He kind of died, I think. I'm pretty sure he's dead. This reminds me of when I first heard the Hans Christian Andersen version of Little Mermaid, where like she just becomes like sea foam or something like that, right? Yeah. So that's what happened to Homunculus, folks. He's not a character anymore. We don't see him anymore.
Well, if they missed last episode, it doesn't matter. They didn't know Homunculus before that.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, so they...
He's Schrodinger's Homunculus.
Our boys met a bunch of new characters and had a bunch of flirty banter, and then we'll never see them again, I imagine.
Right. We got Chiron, the centaur for disease control. No, because he's like a doctor and a teacher and all that stuff. Other people did that joke. I'm stealing it. It's just, I'm just, it's filler. I'm just packing it in,
Very good.
Yeah. And then Mephisto started hitting on all of these like half lady, half creatures, the sphinxes and some sirens. I remember there were, who were very, very seductive. They were like, "Oh, come over and tell us about your podcast." Right. And eventually he decided to get with the Phorkyas, who were, if you might remember them as the three witches who shared one eye and one tooth between them and helped Perseus, gave Perseus the information, I guess, needed to murder Medusa is what I'm going to say. # justice for Medusa. Frickin' Perseus. Yeah.
Stab her a bunch.
Says the person, says the three people with one eye between them. Yeah. But yeah, he gets with them and kind of like becomes one with. So we got Homunculus becoming one with the sea and dying, and Mephisto becoming one with these three ladies, and becoming. I think we said it in the last episode. This other creature called Phorkyas. Yeah. Phorkyas, and that's the title of this episode. Yeah. So we're in Act 3, right? So now we're in this timeless moment that Faust and Manto have somehow created by getting Helen released from the underworld. We're at the Palace of Sparta. Right after the Trojan War has ended. So Helen has just returned to her husband Menelaus' palace along with these Trojan women who have been taken captive, or who were taken captive. Helen's uncertain about why she's been summoned back. She doesn't know if Menelaus wants her to take her place as queen again, or if she's here to face judgment for being taken by Paris.
Right.
Hey, Menelaus, fuck you. That's not her fault.
Right. I think that's a big question in the different depictions of the Iliad, right? Like, does Helen love Paris back? Is it, what's the word, Stockholm Syndrome? Before they invented Stockholm Syndrome? Before they invented Stockholm, the city?
Right, yeah.
Right? Yeah, but either way, I think, even if she had not fallen in love with Paris and chosen the side of the Greeks, right? I'm sorry, chosen the side of the Trojans, right? She would be damaged goods to her husband at the time.
Right. And it would somehow be her fault. Ugh, yeah. So, yeah, so that's one thing that she's worried about. She might be a returning queen, or she might be just another prisoner of war.
Probably if she's lucky, yeah.
Yeah, right. And, yeah, as she walks up to the palace, the Trojan women are lamenting their fate as captives, right?
Do you know the play, The Trojan Women?
I don't know.
So it is about some of the. I imagine it's some of these characters. If they're not literally, then yeah. So it's Euripides. So it's old as well.
Sure.
But it's sort of a retelling of the Trojan War from the point of view of the women. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That might be worth checking out. Yeah. Right. Yeah, because it's always told by the pillagers and the
right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And do you know Lysistrata?
No.
That one is super interesting. That is Aristophanes. So this is a Greek comedy from the point of view of the Greek women during the Peloponnesian War.
Okay.
So again, it's like, taking the stories of the Peloponnesian War, but seeing it through the point of view of the women there. But the thesis of this is that the Athenians and the Spartan women get together and they say the way to end the war is to withhold sex from their husbands and the other men.
Okay.
Yeah, so that'll be the fastest way to end the war is a sex strike.
Okay. Does it work?
Yes.
There we go.
Yes, but I guess it only worked for that one war because we kept having wars for thousands of years after that, I suppose.
See, it's just like that, it's just like Wile E. Coyote. It's just like Pinky and the Brain. It's like you have like a thing, a device, a tactic, a strategy that like works, or it almost works, or something like that, and then you never use it again.
Yeah, there's mostly women, which is great about Lysistrata, but there is at least like one character who is like, he comes in, he's like the messenger between the kings, if I'm remembering correctly.
Okay.
And then he shows up and like he's got this huge like erection, like this unsatisfied erection. And he's like, come on, please.
And it's not like it's not a cod piece. It's not like part of his armor.
No. I don't know how they would stage it, on the. Right. I mean, I know they wouldn't have the guy do an actual erection on a stage, yeah. But but no, he comes in and they're like, look at the state of this poor guy. We have to end this war.
That's the right.
Right. That's the sympathy they have, not for the women who are tearing their hair out and like rending their gnashing their teeth with grief. It's this poor young guy who comes in. Look at him.
Yeah. And then the camera pans out and Sally Struthers is there and she's like, "Call now." Just one donation.
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
For less than the price of a cup of coffee.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh God. When will men finally get what they deserve? No, that actually works.
Sally Struthers' voice.
Yes. Just do it. Just call.
Yeah, just call. Let them do it.
Yeah. It's all you need to do. It's just one phone call. That's it. And you just go about your day after that. And you can go and buy that coffee. You can splurge. It can be a you day, You can do two things. But you'll be drinking that coffee and you'll be like, I could have donated more. But you didn't. Because you're a bad person. No. Okay, but yeah, so when Helen enters the palace, she finds it eerily empty at first. Just vacant corridors and all that. And then she encounters this horrifying figure. Now, we maybe remember, I think we're supposed to remember that this is Mephistopheles.
I didn't.
Okay, well, this is Mephistopheles. He's transformed himself into Phorkyas. I think we were calling him Mephisto in the last one. This is when he melds with the four cities, right? Those three witches with the one eye and the one tooth, right?
Yeah, maybe if I was watching it all in one play or reading this, well, I mean, it's about 50 pages an act, so I don't know if I could read it all in one sitting, but if maybe that's my problem, because now that you pointed out the four cities and then he turns into Phorkyas, that makes a lot of sense. So you knew this was Mephistopheles. I was caught by surprise because it's a big reveal at the end.
Yeah, okay, so we're going to get to that when Phorkyas reveals themselves to be Mephistopheles, and I guess we're all supposed to be like, oh!
I was.
Like Dr.
Really
Jekyll
was.
and Mr. Hyde are the same person? Because that was the thing. I remember you told me that in our other show. Listeners, I guess it's been ruined, but that was the big reveal at the end of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, was that they were the same person.
Yeah.
We were not supposed to know that.
Right. It's sort of been, the surprise has been ruined by the success of the piece. Right?
Yeah. Right.
That you just know the ending. Like, you don't know the end of The Hound of the Baskervilles until you read it, but, or something like that.
I still don't know that one, so that's good.
Yeah, exactly. But Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is a murder mystery, essentially. And so you read it, and it's the strange case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. What is the connection? And the narrator's trying to figure that out. And then it's the end. It's one of those, kind of like Christie would do later with and then there were none. Like, it's an epilogue at the end.
Right.
The story is completed, and people are like, I couldn't possibly have solved that fucking thing. What the hell was this about? And then you go a couple more pages, it's like, oh, it turns out they were the same person.
Interesting. Huh. I think to a lesser extent that's how Dracula is supposed to be too, because I don't think we're supposed to know exactly what vampires are. They're kind of obscure at this point.
Right.
But yeah, I guess Phorkyas is pulling a Jekyll and Hyde thing here, or a Dracula, like we're not supposed to know.
I guess so. Well, I didn't, so I felt stupid when you told me I'm supposed to have known that.
Well, no, because we had a scene where it happened. He turned into Phorkyas.
I guess we did. I guess I was distracted by the tiny man in a jar,
right?
Who rides a dolphin into the sea and becomes the foam.
Yeah, and not like in an elegant way, like in a big explosion, like pieces of dolphin raining down type of way.
Yeah, so I didn't catch it, but that makes a lot of sense, because one thing, as I'm reading this act, which feels entirely like a play of its own, like it feels very removed from the rest of it.
Yeah.
I was like, where is Faust? Oh god, okay, Faust comes in like halfway through. Where is Mephistopheles? And so I just stopped asking where is Mephistopheles, like just by the end of it, and then he was there the whole time.
I'm so glad that you got to have that surprise. That is really cool.
Yeah. I'm happy.
But yeah, so Helen enters the palace. She finds it empty, but then she meets Phorkyas, right? We know it's Mephistopheles, but he is transformed into Phorkyas, and the Trojan women like break into song about how ugly Phorkyas is, and just like how monstrous Phorkyas is, and then Mephisto starts tormenting Helen, first by like cruelly like listing off all of her like past lovers, and then by suggesting something much darker, that Menelaus is planning to murder her with an axe and hang all the Trojan women from the palace rafters. Naturally, this terrifies everybody present.
Sure. And it's in a song too, which is just garish, right?
Oh yeah.
Danny Elfman style.
Right.
Yeah, so they kind of go back and forth.
The Trojan women are doing, the background's like, ha, 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 until they hear the part about themselves, and then it's like,
right.
ha, ha, ha?
Yeah, exactly. They kind of go back and forth about Helen's beauty and then Phorkyas' ugliness, etc. And it's kind of like it's interesting how much, like, Phorkyas feels sometimes like she's trying to put down the idea of beauty and uphold like the idea of ugliness.
Yeah.
Like
celebrating ugliness.
Yeah, I'm so ugly and I'm great. And I'm like, you're so beautiful and you're the worst.
Yeah. It's an epic rap battle between I guess the epitome of beauty and the epitome of ugliness. I guess. Yeah. But yeah, so that's what we got going on there. And then Phorkyas tells them there's only one way out, right? In the hills north of Sparta, there's this powerful and generous lord named Prince Ali. No. We know it's actually Faust, right? He's built this supposedly...
I didn't, but okay.
Okay. Anytime somebody participates in a rap battle in this story, I'm going to assume that it's Mephisto. And anytime this person then says, I know a guy who can help you, I know that's Faust.
Well, I guess I'm learning that now, and I've got 2 acts left in our 15-week journey of Faust.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll figure that out by next time. I guess what I'm saying is that I'm lucky there's not a real devil, because I would be very susceptible to any of his nonsense.
You would just be fooled left and right.
Left and right, constantly, right? Yeah, like Amy Wong says, fool me 7 or 8 times, shame on you. Fool me 9 or more times, shame on me.
There you go. Right. Yeah. And yeah, they're like, he's a clever one, that devil.
But I think most of the people in these stories learn the lesson once.
Yeah.
The
hard way.
Yeah, the hard way.
Yeah. So he's talking about, Phorkyas is saying that they need help from this lord who is actually Faust, right? And he's built this supposedly impregnable fortress with his Germanic warriors. Phorkyas offers to transport all the women there instantly if Helen gives permission. Now, even though Helen can sense that Phorkyas is a hostile spirit who turns good things into bad, she agrees. It seems better than certain death.
Right.
So Phorkyas transports them all to Faust's fortress, but when the mists clear and they can see where they are, they find themselves in what looks like a prison courtyard. The women are starting to wonder if they've just traded one form of captivity for another.
It's called marriage. But really.
Right, yeah. So Helen and the Trojan women find themselves in this courtyard surrounded by elaborate medieval buildings, a complete change from the classical Greek architecture that they're used to. Phorkyas has disappeared. It's gone. And in comes Faust, dressed up as a medieval lord with pages and squires leading the way. He's got this chained up watchman with him who apparently failed to spot Helen's arrival. because they teleported.
But if he's in on the whole thing, then that's just for show, I guess.
Oh, you're saying the chained up Watchman?
Well, not to the Watchman's point of view. The Watchman doesn't know why he's being enslaved or whatever. But,
yeah.
But if Faust is like, hey, I'm just figuring this out now, so excuse me. But if he's like, hey, Mephistopheles, you're going to go trick Helen into seeing me as her savior, and you're going to transport them in there, then, he wasn't upset at this Watchman for missing it.
So you're assuming that Phorkyas and Faust got together and said, hey, we're going to teleport Helen over here, and then I'm going to pretend to have her dissuade me of executing this guy, and this guy will also be in on it, and it'll all be like a thing.
I don't see why the guy needs to be in on it, though.
Well, that's what I was saying. I was like, I'm pretty sure that Faust was ready to kill a guy
sure.
for this stunt. If this stunt went wrong, like I think he grabbed this guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, why didn't you see Helen of Troy come in here? And this poor guy is like, I don't know. And then like pulling him by the ear up to Helen of Troy. And it's like, if you say to kill him, I will kill him.
Right.
And if she had, I think he would have.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's fair. Pulling him by the ear if he's lucky, I tell you.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's like heavily chained and with like, he's doing that perp walk,
Right.
But Faust is petty enough to where he's like, and I get to hold his ear.
Yeah, because I think Faust is trying to show off his power, right? He's trying to show he's got slaves, he's got servants and flunkies.
Right. Lots of pains and panics and
what's the other? Wait. He's got slaves. He's got servants and flunkies
and goons and oh no, you're doing the song.
Prince Ali.
Yeah. I didn't realize that slaves and servants and flunkies was part of it. They say slaves in it?
Did I make this up?
He's got slaves, he's got servants and flunkies.
Yeah. He's got 95 white Persian monkeys. He's got the monkeys. Let's view the monkeys.
You're right.
View them. He charges no fee. He's generous. So generous. He's got slaves. He's got servants and flunkies. Proud to work for him. They bow to his whim. Love serving him. They're just lousy with loyalty.
Huh. Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That snuck by me.
They say it real fast at the end of the song.
Yeah. Well, there you go, I guess.
Yeah, the remake Aladdin doesn't have slaves, I think.
I don't imagine. Yeah. But you know who does? Faust. Or whoever he's calling himself these days. But yeah, he's ready to have this guy who was a bad watchman and didn't catch Helen of Troy and her entire entourage sneaking in here. Right. But he decides to let Helen choose this watchman's fate. And when Helen learns that it was actually her beauty that distracted the watchman from his duty, she asks for him to be freed. So he must be in on it then. The Watchman.
I think he would have been killed no matter what.
But he's the one he's like, your beauty, ma'am.
So
it was the one. Yes. I imagine, it's like he like Faust elbows him. It's like, say it's her beauty.
Right, or I'll kill you.
Yes.
And if she says to kill you, then I'll kill you.
Yes.
And if she says not to, I'll just kill you some other time.
Right.
For some other arbitrary reason.
You're not off the hook. But Faust agrees and lets this guy go. Right. He then starts going on about Helen's beauty and how it has overwhelmed him as well, and declares that she's now his lady. Just in case you didn't know, that just by showing up, she has earned herself both a kingdom and a throne. They start bringing out these treasure chests to her, and Faust offers her everything this castle contains. Helen asks Faust to come and stand beside her, telling him how amazed she is by everything that she has seen and heard. Then something interesting happens. They start finishing each other's sandwiches. No. And they're clearly falling deeply in love. Right. Helen gives Faust her hand, and they're both just overcome with happiness. I've seen this before. It's in the same movie. Jasmine's like, I've never realized how incredibly handsome you are. That's exactly what's going on, Faust. You sick, twisted, like, yeah. Suddenly she's like totally okay with everything that you're doing, and she's like, oh my gosh, I do love you. Yeah, of course.
It's interesting. Before he comes into the picture, again, like we're so used to seeing Helen of Troy from the point of view of the man, and then it becomes that, halfway through this act when Faust shows up. But there's a big portion before where she's talking about like her feelings of being kidnapped, abducted, like the worry about her husband, what people think of her,
and also giving orders. And
yeah, that's true. Yeah, and like standing up to this other woman who turns out to be Mephistopheles in disguise, and so it is very interesting. I don't know if feminist is the word for it, because then all of it is at the service of then showing how Faust can seduces her and then loses her, and it's all about Faust being sad for Helen. But the first part of this is strangely maybe proto-feminist, like from at least from like it's such a big leap because it's like actually cares about her feelings.
Right, progressive for its time.
Yeah, I know, like Shakespeare had has feminist characters, women who are women for their own sake, etc. But I don't. That might be it, right? Am I crazy?
I'll say, so not progressive for its time, but like it's trying.
No, I think it is. I think Shakespeare is such an outlier that we like might assume that other people were more progressive.
We're like that, okay?
Yeah. Because like Helen of Troy in the previous act is just a thing to be stolen.
Is literally an object, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Huh. But yeah, so that's where we are, folks. Is now the curtain closes. They live happily ever. Nope.
That's nice.
Nope. No.
Oh.
Because then Phorkyas shows up with some bad news. Menelaus and his army are coming to attack the castle. That was very fast, I think.
They're in Germany or wherever
I
they are?
guess.
All right.
Right? They teleport, and then Faust gets angry at Mephisto and insists it's nothing to worry about. And Faust orders his troops to march out and push Menelaus back to the sea, where that homunculus is.
Yes, send my regards, Homunculus. Yeah. Although obviously Faust has completely forgotten that character.
No, he doesn't even. Yeah, no. But then Faust gathers his princes around him, gives them their orders, and rewards their loyalty by giving them lands to rule. Finally, he takes his place next to Helen and promises that she'll have paradise on earth and complete freedom. Wink.
So, do you think this Menelaus thing is real?
It happened so fast.
Yeah.
It's like they ran up to Faust, and they were just, they still had the scripts in their hands, and they were like, my liege, Menelaus and about 1,000, 10,000 men with 10,000 bad guys with swords are right on our heels. They're right outside the gates. What shall we do, O leader?
You shall send those goons to their lords.
Yes. I mean, yes, my liege. And then they run off, and you just hear, like, obviously, just this one guy doing all the voices behind it. It's like, oh no,
you have slain me.
Me, Menelaus.
On guard, cling, clang, cling.
He's got two swords, and he's just standing them together. Faust is like, it's like, cover your ears, my love. Because then it's harder to tell that this is fake.
Right. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on in this.
So you don't think Menelaus actually showed up like 10 minutes after Helen got teleported here?
Yeah. So Mephistopheles or Phorkyas transports them from ancient Sparta back into the future. Right. It's a medieval period, and it's in Germany, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So how did Menelaus get there? Probably not, right?
I don't. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it harder, I don't think Menelaus was actually here.
The gods? Maybe the gods? Poseidon or something?
Could be. Yeah.
He helped them before.
Right, yeah. Proteus was there. Well, no, Proteus is with Homunculus. And I don't think he was a god anyway, but yeah. But But yeah.
Now that right before we started recording, you told me that this was all the devil's. I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, the devil would probably pretend that Menelaus was there.
Yeah, that makes sense, right? This is I love this Mephisto's kind of like, he isn't the Jafar genie. I can do anything. I can give you cosmic power. Like he's like, yeah, I'll make you a prince. and he does kind of like what the Robin Williams genie does, is like it's all fake. It's all kind of like, he hires a bunch of people and gets like, like, let me change your monkey into an elephant and, all that.
And he plays most of the people in the crowd going, we love Prince Ali.
Yeah. So I think I like this Mephisto. Yeah. But yeah, so now we're in this secluded grove surrounded by cliffs where Faust and Helen have gone for privacy. Phorkyas is telling the chorus about how Faust and Helen have had this extraordinary child named Euphorion. But Euphorion is no ordinary baby. No. Duh. I mean, just listen. He can already walk and talk. And he's jumping from mountain peak to mountain peak with his head glowing with light, right? He's got that halo. The chorus isn't really impressed by all his talk of ancient gods and miracles, though. They say they only care about things that touch their hearts directly. So it sounds to me like he's got like the physical powers of the gods, and the chorus is like, nah, it's more about what's in here, right?
Where are they pointing? We're on a radio show.
I see. I realized that as I was doing it. But it's a moot point anyway, because what they're trying to say is, right, they're pointing to their hearts, right? It's, it's fine and good that you have the powers of a Greek god, but it's more about what's on the inside. Like, you have to be like a total asshole like Zeus and sleep around with a bunch of like animals and human women and whatnot. Right?
Dolphins.
Yes. Right.
But where can we find a dolphin? Proteus.
Oh, Proteus.
What are you doing alive?
Yeah. So when Faust, Helen, and Euphorion come into this grove, Euphorion starts they are Faust, who has the powers of a god, and the devil, at his fingertips, and the famously most beautiful woman in the world. You can't tell them that their son's name is stupid. That's how powerful they are.
It means happy. Yes, we know it means happiness.
Yes. You could have, I don't know, Joy is a name. Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, Euphorion starts dancing, talking about how he likes his suitcase. No. He's talking about how happy it makes his parents to watch him.
Yep.
So his parents don't say that.
No. I am happiness embodied.
I like how, So he starts dancing, and he starts saying how happy his parents are to watch him dance.
Right.
His parents have no say in this. Okay. But yeah, so Faust and Helen are just, I guess, they're just overwhelmed with love for their perfect child and for each other. And, I mean, in my notes, it's like, this actually does move the chorus.
Yep.
Keenan, is this moving you?
Well, no, but now that I understand what's going on, I think I am moved by it more, yes.
Really?
So, yeah, so...
This was such a quick, he kidnaps her from being kidnapped.
Right.
Goethe's like, and then they really fall in love, and they have a kid, and they name the kid a stupid name, but the kid loves to dance, and
my name is Goethe.
Yeah,
with an R, even though there's no R there.
Yes.
So I know from stupid names.
Well, no, I think we're saying it wrong. I think you're supposed the German OE is supposed to sound like a British R.
Right.
Yeah, Goethe.
Goethe.
Yeah. Goethe. Yeah.
Right. It's dumb.
Okay, all right. I'm going to let you handle all those emails. Yeah. I know we're not going to get any emails from anybody named Euphorion. Yeah. Sounds like he's the emperor of a planet or something.
But so again, we sat down to record this episode.
Yes.
And I told Lester I was surprised by the fact that Phorkyas is Mephistopheles, and he very kindly and patiently explained to me that that's the stupidest fucking thing you'd ever heard.
No, I didn't say that.
No, you said it very kindly and patiently.
I just reminded him that we saw Mephisto merge with the three sisters and become Phorkyas in the last one.
And also, why would it not be Mephistopheles? Which makes a lot of sense. So I'm just figuring this out on the air. But
so you're saying that it being Mephistopheles makes this like sudden transition of Faust with Helen. I don't know. To me, it seems like they just met. I know it's supposed to be like, and then they live happily ever after, but it's like it's so quick. It's like, well, you're going to trust this guy? Like,
Yeah, I think it is meant to feel quick like that. Like this is how Faust is potentially experiencing it, because Mephistopheles is in control of time and space in this little bubble. And like skipping forward, like there are no scenes in between because they might not exist.
So what you're saying, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is like, they're like in a little snow globe that he's clutched.
Yeah, potentially, yeah.
Okay, now I see. Okay.
And that's particularly sad because the wager is that if the rules from part 1 still exist, which I'm not sure they do, right? But if they do, then it's your job is to prove to me that happiness can exist.
Right.
And then Mephistopheles has given him that right now.
Yes. And I think we should probably assume that they still do. I think that's still kind of like the bet that's going on, or the game that's being played. So yeah, so he's kind of making him happy, and
Right.
that was one of the like. Specifically, it was like, oh, if I could just like live in this moment, like stay, like oh, if you ever hear me say like, oh, stay, time, stop,
Right.
like I want this moment forever, and that's okay, I guess that's kind of happening here.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just worried about whether it was earned or not, but
Well,
I
he
guess
sold
when
his
the
soul
devil
to
is
the
doing it,
devil.
yeah. I guess that kind of doesn't matter. It's like, I'm going to get you there one way or another. Okay.
It's a hefty cost here.
Yeah.
The wages of sin is death. That's hard.
Right. That's hard. Yeah. Not as hard as that one guy in that play. Am I right?
Ladies, come on, ladies. Come on.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. I guess the chorus is moved by this. Seeing this genuine family, love touches them in a way the earlier tales didn't. But then Euphorion announces that he wants to fly up into the sky, and his parents try to discourage him. So instead, he starts dancing with the chorus, playing at being a hunter, while they pretend to be his prey. Interesting. And then things get really dark because Euphorion catches one of the girls in the chorus, but she bursts into flames and vanishes into the sky. Euphorion, completely captivated, starts climbing the cliffs after her while everybody watches in fear. Right? He's talking about how he's not content to just dream. He wants to see more of the world, to fight in wars, to achieve victory. He shouts that death is necessary, but he believes his wings will keep him safe. This very Icarus-y type thing that's going on here. And then comes the tragedy, right? Euphorion jumps into the air, and for a moment his clothes keep him floating, radiant in the sky. But just like Icarus in the Greek myth, and just like Homunculus, he becomes one with the sky. No, he becomes one with the ground. But yeah, no. His body lands at his parents' feet, and vanishes.
Yeah, a lot
leaving
of that
only his
going
clothes
here.
behind.
Right.
And his
raptured, maybe.
Yeah, I guess. Right. And his devastated parents are struck by how their perfect joy has turned to such terrible pain. From somewhere in the darkness below, they hear Euphorion calling for his mother not to leave him alone. Oh, Mephistopheles, that's just digging in the knife.
So he's gone to where the mothers are, I guess, right? Like the Greek hell, or what do you think is going on?
I mean, if Mephistopheles is able to kind of like open the window or the speaker to let them hear his voice, I think he's just in hell. Right?
Like the mothers I could handle, but
Yeah.
hell.
But yeah, so while the chorus mourns this beautiful youth's death, Helen turns to Faust with this profound realization that beauty and happiness can never stay joined together forever. She gives Faust one last embrace and then goes down to the underworld to be with her son. So maybe it is with the mothers.
Yeah, which
as a Greek hell.
underworld? Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, because she's kind of referencing like Persephone and that.
Right. Yeah, so it has to be, because otherwise Faust would be okay with that. Because oh yeah, I'm going to hell too. So
Great, wonderful.
I'll see you there.
See you all there. Save me a seat at TGI Fridays.
yeah, see, he's like that guy on New Year's Eve who's like, see you next year. He's like, this is the one time he gets to use. He's like, see you in hell. And she's like, husband. And he's like, no. And he makes that stupid face, and she's like, oh, I get it.
I get it.
Yeah. But really, don't do that anymore.
Yeah, sad stuff here. I know you were having trouble with how quick we learn about these characters, etc.
I'm less sad. I'm just like meh,
yeah, but
this boy was a little brat. I mean,
sure,
in my mind.
Sure, yeah, they all are. But yeah, when Euphorion is crying out from hell or Hades, says, "Mother, must I remain here in the dark alone?" That's pretty terrible.
Sure.
And then
don't leave me, Dimmy.
Sure.
In the dark alone. Yeah.
Yeah, Helen and Faust have been reciting their words together or finishing each other's sentences, etc. And then Helen is able to speak on her own again, and she like separates from this being in sync with him.
Yeah.
And says these lines to himself because of the loss of their son.
Yeah. But yeah, so she goes down to the underworld, and all Faust has left of her are her robes and veils. So she also like kind of disappeared, leaving the clothes behind.
Right. But with her robe, he smells it really hard when no one's looking.
Of course he does.
Right.
And that's when, like, he thinks he's alone, and he's like right in the middle of it, and that's when Phorkyas puts a hand on his shoulder. Is like, oh, well, I'm still here. Yeah, but yeah, so Phorkyas tells him to hold on to these garments tightly.
Yeah, no worries about that.
Yeah. And they transform into clouds that wrap around Faust and carry him away. Yeah. Now, one of Helen's servants makes this dramatic choice to follow her queen down to the underworld, and she really lays into the others who won't join her, basically saying like they're just shallow creatures of the physical world with no higher purpose. Now, after she leaves, the remaining chorus women decide to celebrate nature instead, joined by some satyrs. There's wine, there's women and song. Well, yeah, because they're there. And there's song, and then things get pretty passionate, like a Greek story does. And then as the curtain starts to fall, we get this final dramatic moment. Phorkyas suddenly grows to this enormous height right at the front of the stage, pulls off the mask and veil, and reveals himself as Mr. Hyde. No, Mephistopheles. And I can't remember. I don't have actually my copy in front of me. Does he? Does he have a final monologue?
It's weird here. So this is the Williams translation. In the proscenium, the huge figure of Phorkyas rises, but she steps down from her buskins. I don't know what a buskin is. Removes her mask and veil and reveals herself as Mephistopheles, who in an epilogue delivers such commentary on the play as may be necessary.
Okay, that's why I don't remember it, because it's not... So there aren't any lines. It's like...
Yeah, Goethe's like, you figure it out. What do you want me to do about it?
So, if anybody was confused, just depending on the night, if you heard a lot of like, huh? In the audience, then Mephistopheles, you come out and you just kind of mingle with the crowd, and you do kind of like a Robin Williams thing, and then you tell everybody, you get everybody up to speed, okay?
Oh, where are you folks from? Ah, yes. The thing about people over there is they do things very differently than they do here. That I can tell you. This guy here knows what I'm talking about.
So, the current administration, am I right? Sheesh, take it easy, right?
Yeah, so he gets just insert crowd work there. Yeah. But so
I went to the church, and the priest, he was not messing around. I was like, okay, turn it down a bit.
He wasn't messing around because the altar boys were off that day. Oh. Too soon?
That's actually a joke. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Too soon? No, it's happened for centuries.
Yeah.
Not too soon?
It's not too soon because it's not even revealed until the future. Huh. How about that Martin Luther, am I right? Does anybody else think those plague doctors look really stupid?
Back in my day, we didn't have such masks. We just died and we liked it.
Yeah. I think we're figuring out why they don't stage this.
My wife is always complaining that I leave the seat to the vomit bucket up. I say, why don't you put the lid to the vomit bucket down?
Guys.
And women take so long to get ready for the plague.
What's with them fainting all the time?
All right. Well, so it's revealed to be Mephistopheles.
Uh-huh.
You say I'm supposed to have known that the whole time.
I don't
why
know
does
how
he take his mask off and stuff.
Yeah, that doesn't. Yeah, that.
But I was pretty shocked.
Okay.
Mephistopheles. No.
Maybe it was okay. Maybe because listening to it, it's like, oh, that's Toby Jones. That's
sure.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. I don't know. I don't know what you're supposed to think, but yeah. So I don't know what's going to happen in the next act.
Yeah.
At all, because this act, I couldn't have predicted this act based on the second act and the second act from the first act. But I don't know. Is this the 5-act structure? Is this the climax? Did Mephistopheles give Faust a glimpse of what happiness was and prove to him he could make it happen and then yank it away?
From what I remember, there's going to be at least one other moment where we see that Faust hasn't learned anything.
Okay.
And this isn't just like Lester saying he hasn't learned anything, but like I think like objectively the audience is going to be like, boo, Faust.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
All right.
So we got that to look forward to.
Okay, great.
Yeah. But yeah, folks, this has been another episode of The Devil's Details. I've been Lester Ryan Clark. You can summon me on all the socials as Lester Ryan Clark.
And I've been Keenan Diaz. You can invoke me on Instagram and Letterboxd as Howdy Keenan.
Yeah. Find more of our shows and other really cool podcasts at truestory.fm, or drop us a message at bananaforscalemail, M-A-I-L, @gmail.com. We got our Facebook listener group, Banana for Scale. That's a community for all of our shows, including this one. It's a private group, but just request to join and we'll let you in. If you want more, consider joining us at truestory.fm/join and look for Banana for Scale. That's us. You get bonus episodes of all of our shows, access to our Discord, and you get your episodes a week early. Pretty cool. Just $5. Wouldst thou like to live deliciously? We're not even asking for your souls. Just give us a 5 pentagram rating on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you listen to your show or wherever you listen to our show. That and sharing the show by word of mouth or on social media helps our little podcast grow and find more cool people like you. All right, folks, until next week, love and hisses. Mwah!